We gotta keep reminding ourselves about the microphone mute button. So it's Wednesday and
time for WordPress.
Time for WordPress. That's about what we got.
Yeah, we're doing a little bit different this week.
Our producer, executive producer, is out of town.
Out of town.
So we're doing self-production. So if you see us like kind of reaching off to the side, it's probably because we're switching cameras.
Switching stuff, yeah. And yeah, well, seems like it should work fine. So
yeah. Now there's one thing I wanted to do. There was remember we were just doing the confessional.
Right.
And that's a movie that we were filming this weekend. And one of the people that was at the confessional said that they really wanted to see WordPress Wednesday. And it was Danny Forming. So what I'm going to do is email Danny Forming and let him know that he can watch WordPress Wednesday at, what is the website?
WordPressWednesday.us.
That's right. And I'm going to email him that right now. I'm going to go there right now just in case.
I've never been there either.
WordPressWednesday.us.
Well, not ever.
You can watch the show. All right, so I just emailed Danny that. And now
And how's that going?
Let's see, what do you got? You got a little video on there?
It's coming up.
Uh-oh. All right, we're seeing what we can get from WordPress. All right, Bob, I'm going to zoom in on you.
Okay. And
This is easy to say.
this is the...
We got a
little ads here for a few seconds.
matter of fact, let me show them what you're seeing.
And so what I'm seeing here, you know what, I'm going to try a little
Zoom action.
zoom action. I found this little...
All right, let's see what, look at that.
Not on the analytics.
And 3 hours.
That's pretty good, huh?
That's kind of cool. The only problem with that is I can't see.
You have to look at the
I
monitor.
have to look at the monitor.
Yeah,
So,
okay, here we come. It looks like we're coming to the end of the ad.
And there we go.
And let's see if we're on TV. Oh, well, it's,
right here.
now you're starting to see Bob's thing on TV. Okay, so Bob, what you're going to have to do is mute your mic. I'm sorry, mute your speakers on your computer. And look, there you go. I can see Bob.
There we go, and there I am.
And there's a little tape delay, so you can just see, now we're going deeper and deeper into the madness, right? Let's go back to there.
Okay, so I'll...
All right. Well, we know we're live online. Matter of fact, I think I should go ahead and mute my microphone too. But Bob, would you mind doing me a favor?
Sure.
Every week we kind of talk about what WordPress is. Would you mind giving a little spiel?
Okay. Yeah, kind of a overview. I should have it down by now.
I know. See what you got.
So WordPress basically is it's a system that's free, open source. So you can, and it's a content management system, CMS. That's what that means. So basically what it is it's a way for you to create a website. When you used to create websites, it was all HTML. You had to create individual pages, and if you wanted to update something, you had to go on every page. Let's say your phone number. Oh, I changed my phone number. You'd have to go to every page and change it, and that was a long time ago, and very time-consuming. So they started coming up with these content management systems, and what that does is you enter your content, and the software, which we're talking about, WordPress, it puts that information into a database. And then on the surface are the themes, which is how you design your website. And that's where you make it, how you want it to look and interact and all that. So if you, and so what it started out was with blogs for bloggers who could very easily set up their site. Then they could go on there every day and write a post and talk about whatever they're going to talk about, the current news, whatever it happened to be. They would save that, and then they would, on their pages, you'd see today's blog, and then tomorrow's, it would move down, and the new one would come up on top of it. And as they developed more and more, you could start arranging things on your web page and organize things a lot better. But basically what it is you're entering the content once and using it many times. So you could have now I'm talking about posts and pages, basically they're the same thing.
Yeah, you know, WordPress uses these words called posts and pages, and that's because bloggers got used to those words.
Yeah.
But in fact, really they're the same thing. They're just
both the same
pieces of information.
So let's take it from another side, not a blogger. Let's say this is your homepage, and I want to do something, our family's site. Well, we can have it up there, and you could have a page for Johnny. He can put his posts and put up what he's doing and categorize it as Johnny, and you pop it down, and all his posts will go on his page if you decide you want to do that. Well, because he did it once, Mom could put on her page, oh, he wrote a nice little post yesterday, I'm going to share it. All she has to do is tell her page to pull that post.
Right.
So you're not copying things over and over again, and you can reuse it many times. And I mean, that's just the bare bones of what it does.
Think of it also in a way as like the way Facebook works. When I update my status on Facebook, if Bob had me as his friend, he would see my status posted on his newsfeed. Now, if Facebook had to update everybody's newsfeed manually with my status every time,
it would not exist.
Right. So what they did, and what WordPress does, is they created this thing called a dynamic website that when somebody updates some piece of information, it could be shot out to everybody's. So that's what WordPress is.
And that's just the basics. And what's great about WordPress is that it is free. That's the number one thing. And that it's such a huge community with it that people are writing these plugins and that you can add, that you install on top of it that do all kinds of functions and helps you run your website.
Yeah. Now, that term gets thrown around a lot. WordPress is free because I think a lot of my clients think that websites are free.
Well, it's okay.
So the application's free. It's kind of like saying Microsoft Word costs money.
Right.
There's a free version of Word, and that's called, I think, OpenOffice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's free version. But just because you have a free version of a word processor doesn't mean someone's going to write a novel for you for free.
Oh, well, yeah, exactly. I mean, all this is...
It's the ability to do something.
Basically, it's like somebody walked up to you and handed you a toolbox.
Yes.
Well, you still got to build whatever you're going to build.
Right.
They just give you the tools.
They give you the toolbox.
And, just because you get this nice toolbox doesn't mean you're going to build a two-story mansion or whatever.
So that's where Bob and I come in. We do the building. We build websites and design them, and sometimes they're extravagant, and sometimes they're real simple. But the reason why I think we both like WordPress is most of our clients aren't the kind of clients that have unlimited budgets. They're usually maybe somewhere underneath $1,000. They want us to build them a website, and then after the website's built, what they're really hoping for is they have the ability to maintain it themselves. That means maybe they want to change a word on their website, change their email address or phone number, and in the old HTML systems, not even possible. In WordPress, WordPress has a really simple administrative area that even if you're not a developer, you should still be able to do very basic things like add pictures to your site and add pages.
And sometimes with the sites that we'll do with clients, if there are a few people that are going to be operating it, like with some nonprofits we do, they want 3 or 4 people to be able to do it. So we build into it, when we work with them as a client, we build some training time into it. It's like, okay, we're going to sit down with you, 3 or 4 people and kind of show you the basics of how to get into it. And, and depending on your personality, the one thing that I kind of like about it is you're always learning something. It's almost like, I don't want to throw you off by saying it's like a puzzle, but sometimes it is a little bit. It's, things are easy, but you have to figure them out a little bit because, just because it's all these pieces out there and you have to figure out how to
put them together. Yeah. Well, let me show you a site that I just finished up, and we've been talking about this site for the past, seems like 2 months.
Yeah.
But let's see if I can get my site on here. Okay, so this is the Blue Ribbon Blankets website, and look at how, I must have Zoom turned on, huh? I sure did. Wow, look at that. So look at how we got the Blue Ribbon Blankets website. This took me a long time because we had a lot of little customizations going on. We had this little thing right here up at the top, and it's the, what would you call this puppy? The header?
It's like the header, yeah.
That header, the client wanted it to be nice and something different. The next thing my client wants is when you click on any one of these pages, you have what's called the page title. This one says custom stall setups. She wants this right here to have a picture behind it. So now I got to dig into the CSS, find out how that header's
Gotta get it
created, or this title, I guess page title. The other thing is, remember we were talking about the plugin for viewing the product catalog online?
Oh, correct.
She just couldn't get her to like it. So now when you click on the catalog, it just opens up a PDF file. And this is actually a PDF file that Bob created. And in this PDF file, it allows them to look at the PDF file right online.
They
and
didn't go
without
for the flipping page thing.
Didn't go for the flipping page thing, no.
I thought that was pretty
I know. So
cool, but
let's go ahead and I'll see if I can show you that. So this is that catalog, and Bob, you actually have seen this. The thing that they liked about it was that you put it side by side so they could see it.
oh, the spreads.
Yeah, but the problem that I found out was when we tried to print this, it didn't work.
No, it's going to split it.
Yep, it's going to split it.
Unless you, well.
Well, so
won't
what I
get into
did,
that.
I know, let's not go too crazy. So what I did was I decided, you know what, I don't have the budget. From this customer standpoint, they didn't have the budget to deal with that, or they couldn't get the flippy thing to work. So what Bob then created for me was a second PDF file, and the second PDF file he created where each page was its own page, and that file then now they could just send to the printer,
Right.
and it should work. Is that right? Should work?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So and
I
it's,
have confidence it'll work.
it's downloading right now. But and let's see if I can go back to that. So if you see on this one, everything is just everything's its own page, and I'll show you where that she initially freaked out, right here. This page right here means nothing unless it's connected to this page right here,
Right, because it's split in.
because it's split. Yeah. So it's those split pages that really kind of made things work. And by the way, I'm noticing that our network is extremely slow, and I think it's because I'm actually connected to the Wi-Fi. And I'm realizing how non-responsive it is. But
Oh,
anyways, that's that. What else? There was something else I wanted to show you on this website. Maybe.
well, one of the things that I'd like to mention, you were talking about the title of the page and wanting a picture behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's one of the, and you talked about going into the CSS and all that. That's one good thing about WordPress is it can be very basic, and you go in and just put your site up and simple, but it is powerful enough where if you want to dig into it and work with the CSS and plugins and do different things, you can pretty much customize it however you want.
Right,
It just
right.
takes a little more work. And that's where we come in. We help people when they want something that's just not straight out of the box.
Now, I do remember now what I wanted to show you, and it's Bob and I deal with, I'm going to say this out loud, but it might not be appropriate, unrealistic expectations.
Yeah, no,
Is that?
that's about right.
So one of the things that my client is having a hard time getting her mind around, and let me show you my screen, is the ability to manage images. So this image only exists because we scanned her catalog in. It's not like we had the master files.
Correct.
So that's all we had. And so she said, well, you know what I'd like you to do? If you're going to put this image on the website, I'd like you to take off the letters. Well, you can't take off the letters. They're
in the
embed right into that image, right?
image. Right.
So I'll show you how I ended up
There
doing
are
it.
ways of doing it, but that's where
Let's see
it's
if I can.
work.
Yeah,
You
it's.
know, it's
I think it's under accessories, and here it is. So this is that. Let's see if I can zoom into that one, huh? I'm using the zoom feature there, Bob.
all right.
So you can see on this picture, I don't have any more of those letters.
Right.
And Bob knows exactly what I did. I just, cloned a little piece of the thing and copied over the letters. I mean, and it worked.
And that works, but again, you had to spend time to do it.
That's
So
right.
it's
Yeah, it
not-
wasn't like, hey, let's just take out the letters.
Yeah.
So, all right. So what have you been working on?
I've been working on a site, and maybe we got a few minutes left here. We'll take a little break. But I found a plugin that you knew about,
Okay.
and it's for contact form. so people can put a contact form on your website
Uh-huh.
and send an email to you. So I was working with one the last few days that I really like. So I'm going to just show how easy it is because it's very customizable. You can do several different kind of forms.
Okay.
And I operate.
Mind if I show them your screen?
Oh, sure. Go ahead. So I'm going to go to the plugins, add new. And this particular one is, I know it's called Contact Form 7. And I'm going to go through the whole process setting it up. And what's really cool about this, I'm going to install it. I found today, now last time, or a couple episodes, I talked about adding a FTP where you can upload files to your website.
Yep.
Or from the website to me. Well, this Contact Form 7 allows you to do that right in that, so you're not having two plugins to deal with it. I didn't really go into that much. I'm going to activate the plugin. And here we are, setting. And where is it at? Contact Form.
Do you have
Settings.
it? Do you have it loaded on a page already?
No.
Oh, Contact Form 7?
Content Form 7.
That's the one I use too.
That's probably where I heard about it.
Oh, maybe, I know.
So it already sets up one for you as a sample, Contact Form 1, and you'll notice that it looks kind of like the,
Zoom into that puppy. See if you can do your little, go like 400 or something. 200 is good, yeah.
so you can see here, it actually looks like your posts and
Oh.
pages table. So you can have many of them here. Now what I want to do is go ahead and edit this, and I'm going to do a basic one right now. And so here's the form. Get you guys dizzy there. Okay, and the form, I'm going to try a different zoom here.
Yeah, that's a hard one. It wouldn't be nice if we could figure out how to turn it off.
Yeah. So I'm going to, let's see.
You're looking for a different Zoom system?
Yeah.
All right, so one of the things that we have a hard time with, and I'm sure that you notice it, is on your TV
Showing.
screen, you're not actually able to kind of see the letters on our computer screen because our computer screens are high def, number one. They're in regards to video terminology, they're high definition. And number two, it's we're sitting like 3 or 4 inches away from our computer screen. Wait, that'd be like that. Never mind. We're sitting about a foot or two away from our computer screen, where you're probably sitting about 10 feet away from your television screen.
So I came in, I got zoomed in a little better.
Okay, and then the third one is that we don't have the equipment to broadcast in HD,
Yeah,
so we're in standard def. So let's see what Bob's screen looks like now.
okay, so here's the form, and I clicked on edit, and this area here is just your basic form. Your name required, and it's the text asterisk. Your name means it's a text field. Email, because it's already set up, and it says required. What's cool about this is it will try to validate the email.
Oh, yeah.
When you type it in, if you don't type something that looks like an email, it'll give you a warning.
Oh,
It
really?
says, oh, it doesn't do it. The subject and your message. So, and then mail, you set where it gets mailed to, from, and now you notice that it says your name, and the little short code thing is your name. So if you notice up here, it defines what your name is. So when the person puts their name in, Bob Snow, when it emails it back to me, it's going to say, this is from Bob Snow at this email address. Here's the subject. And I found what's cool here, and maybe I'm
Yeah.
jumping around too fast.
Now, by the way, I've seen that technique when you're using like MailChimp or Constant Contact.
I think it's the same theory.
Okay, so it's like pulling a database field, your name.
But I don't think in this, and I could be wrong, I don't think it's using the database.
It's just
I think it's
oh.
using the system. So it's defining here, because I can put in,
You know what I think it
this as a
is?
sample.
You know what I think it's using is
It's a form.
yeah, it's
process.
generating a form, and it gives the title of that form, the name, that element,
Right.
whatever you want to call it. You can call it Joe Schmo.
So I'm going to
Yeah.
actually copy this, and I'll show you an example. This is the default one, and I changed this before. So I copied this, but instead of subject, I want it to be address. And it's text, and I'm going to call it your address. And I'm going to save this. And oh, another cool thing that I found out is for testing purposes, I wanted it to send to my client. So under this mail, under additional headers,
Yeah.
I can go CC and put mine, and it'll send a copy
You want to know?
just like a regular email.
You ready
Welcome,
for-
everybody. Welcome.
Sorry about that. You ready for another little trick on this one?
Sure.
You can also, in the to, put commas and add as many emails as you want.
You know what? I tried that, and it didn't.
Oh,
For
didn't
some.
work?
Oh, in mail too. You mean
Uh-huh.
down here?
Yes, yes. No. It didn't work, huh? Maybe it's the old version I was using, because I don't remember having CC in mine.
It doesn't actually have it. It's just additional headers, and you can put BCC, CC,
Oh, wow.
or any type of header you want to add to it.
Wow, I
And
haven't seen that one before.
and I remember trying that the to and putting the comma,
Didn't work?
and then I tried the semicolon, thinking I had it wrong, and that didn't work. It just sent it to the one. So that's probably why they put.
Maybe I just was
additional
assuming it
headers in
worked.
here, so-
That sounds
Well, that
good.
was the first thing that I assumed. Oh, I'll just type it in.
Yeah.
And then the message body over here, since you've had all this thing, so you're going to get it's to me from your name, the person's name, their email, and the message body is going to have the same thing. And under here it says message body. Well, what I did, and I could go in there, is this is going to do whatever HTML and shortcode you put in there. So I put in hi. This is
Oh,
your name. Let's see, and
now remember,
my
while
email
Bob's doing this, what's happening is that he's kind of generating the email that will be created by the person that's on his website.
Yeah,
So that's why he's saying, hi, this is Frank Zappa, because
Yeah.
Frank Zappa is the one that's going to be on your website, right?
exactly, and that's and so I'll show the his. So I'm going to just do this quick here. Address, and I'm going to save this. Now, what's cool is now once I've created,
Did you want to
So
take your
save it.
client's email out so he doesn't get this?
it's not in there right now.
Okay, cool.
This is just being sent to me, and this is my website. So
Oh,
this actually isn't his site.
oh, okay.
Up here at the top, it's got, says right here, copy this code and paste it into your post or page or text widget content. So I'm going to copy that. I've already saved it. And I'm going to go and create a, I'm going to create a page, add a new page and call it Contact Me.
Oh, you're getting really creative with these names, huh?
Yeah, I was thinking about that all day.
Yeah, contact.
So I'm going to put it right in here. I'm going to paste that code,
Okay.
publish. And so now I'm going to go back to my site. And
Look at, there's a
Made a
page
page.
called Contact Me,
contact me.
and on that
There's
page,
it right there is a field.
look at, you didn't have to do any of that code. It did it all for
Didn't
you,
have to
huh?
do anything. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in here. Send it to myself. Your email. I'm going to send it to. And I'm going to misspell this just to. I'm going to take that out and just say, oh, well, subject test email.
You've tested this, huh?
And address, I'm going to put my address, which is 1234 Main.
So Bob, one thing that I didn't show while you were doing, go ahead and fill this out, is under the email field, Bob changed it to a fake email address that doesn't have the right format. There's no @ sign and there's no .com. So we're going to see what
So
happens.
I'm going to go to send it, and boom, oh, validation errors occurred.
Validation errors.
Please confirm the field and submit again. Oh, there it's telling me it's this one.
Ah,
It's like,
cool.
oh, okay. It's getting a little sloppy there. .com. Send. Whoop. Sent successfully.
Sent successful.
So now,
All right.
if you want to take it off of my computer,
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and
That's
check my email, see if I got it. It was going pretty quick this afternoon.
Let me
there.
cut over to your computer.
Now let me, okay, so I'm still zoomed in. And here's the actual email from Bob Snow, because that's where I sent it from. Subject is test, and on my clients I said, question from my website, just so he can see it in his subject, in his email client. And then down here, message body, which I should have taken that out. I mean, it says, hello, test, not sure where that.
Because your name was test. Or you
the
put subject, yeah.
Okay, so I just got to change that.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then, hi, this is Bob Snow, and my email address is an actual physical address. And you saw how fast that was to set up, and you can use their custom ones, but it's, that was just really quick, and you can customize it, so you can make several different ones if you want, a form for your service department. One of them that I'm doing on my client's site is schedule a pickup. So I can put whatever fields I want in there, and somebody can go on and say, I need this picked up at this time, this location, blah, blah, blah.
Cool.
It'll send them a form. And
well, we're getting in there. It's about time to take a break.
yeah.
So why don't we take a break, and then we'll do a little bit more WordPress activities, see if we can find this fun. But in the meantime, we picked a couple of videos. The first one is from Northern Exposure,
Yeah.
and it's about chucking a cow
Chucking a cow and why you'd want to do that.
and why you'd want to do it. Let's see what we got.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Thanks for coming today. I guess I've been out here now for some days, groping my way along, trying to realize my vision here. Started concentrating so hard on my vision that I lost sight. Come to find out that it's not the vision. It's not the vision at all. It's the groping. It's the groping, it's the yearning, it's the moving forward. I was so fixated on that flying cow that when Ed told me Monty Python already painted that picture, I thought I was through. I had to let go of that cow so I could see all the other possibilities. Anyway, I want to thank Maurice for helping me let go of that cow. Thank you, Maurice, for playing Apollo to my Dionysus in Art's Cartesian dialectic. And thanks to you, Ed, because the truth shall set us free. And Maggie, thank you for sharing in the destruction of your house so that today we can have something to fling. I think Kierkegaard said it oh so well. The self is only that which it's in the process of becoming. Art, same thing. James Joyce had something to say about it too. Welcome, O life. I go to encounter for the millionth time the reality of experience and to forge in the smithy of my soul the uncreated conscious of my race. We're here today to fling something that bubbled up from the collective unconsciousness of our community. Ed, you about ready? Thing I learned, folks, this is absolutely key. It's not the thing you fling, it's the fling itself.
This is so cool.
Let's fling something, Sicily! One, two, three.
you see?
Nice.
Well, I'll be.
Forgot to do the
Yeah, I
mics
gotta
again.
set up my mic.
I know, you got caught us off guard. So one of the things that we always have a problem with is I end up knocking out the internet to Bob's computer all the time. So I think Bob might either have to restart his computer or go wireless, huh? But maybe it might be a restart.
Okay, well, go ahead. You can.
All right, so I'll go ahead and come back to my side. So let's see what else we're talking about today. I got a really good important message for you. And this has to do with security and WordPress sites. And I'm going to show you what I did wrong. Let's go to jimcarrillo.com and I'll do /wp-admin. So I'm going to show you the site that I have. Maybe. Because maybe I unplugged the network. Nope, there it is. And I'm going to log into my website. Now, notice that my username is ADMIN. And actually, let me bring you over here. External, let's give you mine. All right, so maybe I changed my username already. Oh, very good. So my username was ADMIN, and what I needed to change that to was something different because a lot of hackers can get into sites by just trying to break the code for admin, especially WordPress sites, because that's the default username. So what I decided to do was I went into my user accounts, and you see how I've got two accounts. One is Jim and one is White Flash. And I'm going to go ahead and edit, or see this Jim account? I'm going to delete it. Notice that I have 37 posts associated with that. But I'm still going to delete it, and watch what happens. I click delete. Oh, this is really scary. And it says, delete all posts and links. And if I can zoom in, this is really important, by the way. See how it says delete all posts and links? Or right underneath it, it says attribute all posts and links to, and then it shows me the other username, which is Jim.
Okay.
And then when you're done with that, right over here, you can do confirm deletion. And what that does is it deletes that user, Jim. All right, now here's where the tricky part comes. Taking a look at this, and I know you can't see it, there's now 43 posts associated with White Flash. You ready for this? Ready for this one? I was cranking away. I had to do this like to 20 sites, right?
Right.
The last site, delete. I think I clicked attribute all posts,
And you don't remember.
and I didn't. No, I didn't click it. And I went over and I clicked delete. And as I clicked it, I realized, I did not select attribute all posts to Jim. And what do you think happened to all the whole site?
The site went down because.
All pages, they were all deleted. I was like, oh my goodness. Now this one
No
I was
way to
able to
recover.
recover from.
Okay.
I use GoDaddy, and I like GoDaddy. You know, for all the people that have something bad to say about them, I really like them.
I like them.
One of the things that GoDaddy does is every night they back up your database. And so I went into GoDaddy and I clicked restore database.
Now, do they do that by default?
But
I think they do, okay,
every database
because-
is backed up. Now it doesn't mean that your files are backed up. That's like your images and things like that.
Right, but the data, but the
Yeah.
information is.
And when I click delete all posts, it doesn't delete the files, it just deletes the posts that are referencing those files. So
Yeah, because I went to a client's site and, maybe I could have been with you, I don't know, something. And stuff, it got deleted. It's like, oh, well, let's go back into their host and, nope, they're not backups. Well, the backup was never turned on.
oh, that was you and I were looking at
Was
that.
that something?
That was that was
Okay.
that's the
Okay.
infamous site. Remember that one?
Yeah,
You were connected to my computer.
That was it, yeah. And
We won't talk
it's a
about
great
that.
service, but like you said, I'm not sure why that's not turned on by default.
Yeah.
You know,
Having an
because
automatic backup
regular
system.
a regular client, and obviously, I mean, I didn't think about it. I'm not going to go in and think, oh, I have to check the backup every time. That should be part of your service, I think.
Right.
Like you said, GoDaddy just automatically, you know, they just do it. It's part of their service, and you know that's.
Matter of fact, watch this one. I think I'll even go hardcore with y'all, okay? So I deleted that user named Jim Carrillo, right? Mm-hmm. Ooh, I'm scared to do this one. I'm going to go to GoDaddy. I'm going to log in, and I'm going to restore my database from last night and see if that user's still there.
Oh, okay.
So
Now, here's an argument that I used to have when I first started using WordPress, and the concept of your site's out on the cloud, let's say, right? Something happened to it. Before, when I would do HTML sites and design the sites and everything, I had a copy, I'm going to call it a hard copy, on my server in my office.
okay.
Something happened to the hosting, they disappeared or whatever, I had the entire site on my, which I guess you could do that as well. But when you're doing something that's outside, like you said, oh, lost all my images, well, I may have to go and try to collect them from all the places. You know, I still sometimes do it the old way that I do. If I'm going to put images up there, I've got a folder where everything's in it on my end. So, you know.
Well, I'll tell you, I think it's just because we forget. We think that because it's on the cloud, we shouldn't back up. But here's what we should do.
It's still back up.
Number one, we should copy all files, including the WordPress install files, all the images, everything.
Just FTP and just grab that
Grab it
whole
all.
thing.
And the second thing is to export the database
Yeah.
and back that up.
And then that's another thing. If you think you can go in and FTP and grab all your WordPress files and images and upload it and copy it over, that's all that is the images and what's running it. That the database is not sitting there. You have to export it out. The database is somewhere separate.
That's
so
right.
So it's like a two-step thing.
process.
Yeah.
Well, let me show you what I've got. I'm on GoDaddy's backup system, and I click Restore Backup, and it says Restore Backup. There's a system backup that was done 2 hours and 20 minutes ago. That's pretty good, huh? So I'm going to click Restore,
But
and it says Restoring Database. But what?
if it did it 2 hours ago, was that after the fact when you deleted things?
Well,
if it was doing it from a day ago, that would be.
Yeah, but I just deleted it like 3 minutes. Remember I deleted the username Jim?
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
you, okay.
So now you're right.
It's not the actual.
This is not the site that I screwed up on.
Okay. Yeah.
This is my site. So we're going to see, and we'll give it
If it
about
brings
10
that
minutes.
user back,
If it brings that user back, Jim, and associates those 37 posts to Jim,
That's cool.
then that's like an immediate way to recover. But you're right. If you let time pass too long, then you might have another backup that writes over. Oh, and could you imagine if you happen to screw up within a minute of the new backup coming online? Oh, that would bite. That would bite.
Yeah, that would be. So you went through and updated all your.
Everything
sites.
I've got, yeah. I've got a few sites that still have the word admin as my username,
Yeah.
but I've changed them all, pretty much. All right, so you're back up on the internet now, huh?
I'm back up on the internet.
All right, what are you working on?
I was just going to show again that I'm going to go to that. How you can add some. I haven't done it yet. I just looked in to do it. But here's another trick we've shown, and here's how I found the FTP item. And this is a trick that we've talked about a lot. Is if you go to plugins, and I knew right away, go here, editor, and this is on the dashboard.
Oh.
Um,
You know what? I don't think you have your, what's it called on? Your VGA?
You know what? I probably don't since I restarted.
Yeah, so let's get that back on.
Okay.
And by the way, I'm
And
logging in to see.
And so basically we go to the plugins
Let's get you, there we go. Okay, you're on.
and select the plugin to edit. And I want to go Contact Form 7, select. And there we go. So down at the bottom, README. And this is a common little tip that we use a lot. I'm going to. And so what I wanted to do is right here, right at the top, it says it's talking about for any support or information. So here's where it gives links to where to go. So I want to go to the documents. And so I went to their website. And I'm not going to go through the steps, but I'm looking, it tells you how to add a CAPTCHA.
Oh, yeah. Oh, cool.
File upload and attach. And I already saw this. You can add checkboxes, radio buttons.
This is all in the
menus.
free one?
This is all in the free Contact Form 7.
Wow.
So these you can create forms, and it's all fairly simple. So I was looking at the text fields. It just kind of explains. Oh, let me go back here. Here's another thing, and I'm just pointing this out again. I didn't really go into it, but you can set up spam filtering with the Kismet. So
Ooh.
it's not only is it checking your, I'm assuming, checking your post comments and all that stuff, it will use that as to keep from getting just spam generated from your contact form.
Goethe's final word.
So, file uploading and attachments. So, basically right here it gives you instructions on, how to add that form field input type as a file. It tells you how you can actually tell it what types of file extensions you could have. So let's say, you know what, I don't want people uploading anything except PDF files.
Oh,
You
that's
can
nice.
do that. And it shows you all the acceptable kinds where I may want to, in my business, I want JPEGs, Illustrator files, Photoshop, but you can limit it so somebody can't just click on, oh, hey, here's a cool movie I watched and it's 8 gigs. You can also set the limit of size.
How high can you go in the size?
Let's see, I saw, it looked like there were 3 values before, but it's pretty clear explanation as to how to do it. I did see it before, I'm not sure. File type, limit. So it looks like you can go 1 megabyte.
Yeah.
You know what? It looks like actually this is just showing the number, the way you can put it in there. It says limit 1 megabyte, but I'm sure whatever your client, so it's saying you can set it as kilobytes or megabytes. Or
you type the number in.
Yeah. So I'm thinking you could, well, here, as our sample, 2 megabytes. So whatever your mail client or your server, you might say, you know what, I don't want anything over 5 megabytes. I actually had a mail account that was like that for a long time, and I couldn't.
Oh, I hate
This was years ago. It was like I couldn't get any files from anybody because it was set it to like 250K. So it was like all I could get was some email, straight email or something. So this looks pretty cool, and I might have this actually set up by the next show.
Well, you know what I got set up?
Oh,
Wow. What I'll do is let me see if I can pull up my computer screen.
but yeah, this was a great, and actually I think Renee, my business partner, and I asked her, I said, what form thing are we using? Because we jump back and forth. And I think she might have said she got it from you. Because we were trying some different ones, and so this one just...
That's the
It
one I've been
works
using for a
great,
long
yeah.
time, yeah. My friend uses Gravity Forms. It's a little bit too complicated for me. It's like, and it costs money. What do you
Yeah,
mean?
and this is so simple. I mean, I guess I could send them money for a beer.
Maybe we'll do that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, I did want to come back to that question about I restored my database on GoDaddy, and it literally only took about 2 to 3 minutes. I had checked it while Bob was showing you all that one. I was pretty amazed at this. So let me show you what I got. So I'm going to go on to my WordPress site. Here's my dashboard. I logged in, and I'm going to go here under Tools. Users, and click All Users. And let me zoom in so you can see what's that.
There it is.
Jim is back with his 37 posts.
Wow,
And
that's
just
pretty cool.
That's intense. So there you go.
That's very good.
Yeah, another props to GoDaddy because I didn't set anything up, and that just automatically backs up my database. I don't have to worry about that. And
Yeah, and like you said, I've had people not happy with them, but they've got excellent customer service. I mean,
yeah,
I probably never waited more than 6-7 minutes at the most, and somebody's on there.
now
Most of the time.
here's a technique that you should. And by the way, you might want to do this too. I haven't gotten into this one. A friend of mine, his name's John Rogers. He does WordPress development as well. And for every client that he installs a WordPress site for, he creates a Gmail account. And for example, let's say my client's name is Ann, so he'll say, he'll create a Gmail account called Ann Capacitron, because his company's name's Capacitron. And nobody's going to have an email called
Right.
Ann Capacitron. So he creates a Gmail account called anncapacitron@gmail.com, and then he installs a plugin called WP Backup. And what WP Backup will do is it will export the database to create a SQZ file. Is that the name? It's the database format for MySQL.
Oh,
And so it takes that file and it emails it wherever you want. And he has it every week. That plugin will email a database backup to that account.
oh, wow.
So anytime he ever
I could at
has
least-
a client that something happens, he always knows he has at least a week-old backup.
That's a really good.
Yeah,
And what's that called? WP
WP Backup.
Backup. Oh.
And it probably it's called Easy Backup or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Something
Oh,
easy.
that's
It's
very
free.
cool.
So, and I think that's good to have that routine because he follows that same routine for every client, and then he always knows that he has a backup.
Wow,
So-
that's pretty cool.
All right. Well, Bob, what do you think? Do you think it's time to go back and check out our next?
Yeah, we'll take a quick break,
Quick
and
break.
then we got to have a little short segment here.
All right. Well, let's see what we got. Another Northern Exposure one, I think, huh?
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, lights?
Goethe's final words, more light. Ever since we crawled out of that primordial slime, that's been our unifying cry, more light. Sunlight, torchlight, candlelight, neon, incandescent, light to banish the darkness from our caves, to illuminate our roads, the insides of our refrigerators. Big floods for the night games at Soldiers Field. Little tiny flashlight for those books we read under the covers when we're supposed to be asleep. Light is more than watts and foot candles. Light is metaphor. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Lead, kindly light, amid the encircling gloom. Lead thou me on. The night is dark and I am far from home. Lead thou me on. Arise, shine, for thy light is come. Light is knowledge. Light is life. Light is light.
All right. Well, that was a nice little video there.
Yeah, so our mics are back up. And
The mics are all good to go. I think
Okay.
we're back live this time, except for the fact that I'm not wearing my mic. My goodness.
Well, I was just talking to Jim, and I was playing around the other day, and I haven't found it, but I was looking for particular shortcodes. If there was something out there that would give you like a list of all the shortcodes that are already built into WordPress. Because there are certain ones that...
Do you think there are shortcodes built into WordPress?
I think there's a small number of them. Because there's obviously like post.
Yeah.
And so I was just curious if there was something. So I was doing some investigation. And like you said, most of the shortcodes, there was a lot on how to write a shortcode. A lot of places to find that. But there was a plugin, and for the life of me, I cannot figure out what it is right now. What it was a drop-down when you, let's say you're going to create a post or a page. There was a drop-down menu that would drop down, and it would give you a list of all the shortcodes that you have installed in your plugins.
So this is what I'm doing right now that you said that one. I went onto my computer and logged into my WordPress, and what I wanted to see was, can I find those shortcodes? And so all I did was went to my plugins page, and I looked for the word list shortcodes. And let's see if we can find anything in here. There's shortcode ultimate, people lists, WordPress academic list, shortcodes UI. This plugin adds an admin UI for creating shortcodes without the need to code. Ooh, that's cool.
Well, there was a lot of those.
That's
where you
cool.
could create them. I didn't play with them.
Kaylin's post list creates a widget, shortcode, or PHP snippet for inserting dynamic, highly customizable lists. WordPress shortcodes. WordPress shortcodes is a free WordPress plugin that brings an amazing set of beautiful and useful elements to your site. The plugin becomes a bundle with a full set of elements and absolutely free of charge. Is that what it was?
What was that?
WordPress shortcodes?
Oh, I see it right here. Oh.
So I don't know if that's, but that's how I do it. I mean, I just go to shortcode. But do you think that was it, or?
It could have been. Doesn't
Ring a bell though, huh?
Doesn't ring, but I'm installing it now and see what it.
All right. Well, so that's kind of what we do is we find plugins and we
Play
ask each
around
other,
with
hey,
them.
what have you heard that one? And sometimes we have, sometimes we haven't, and then we just install it and see what it does. And if it doesn't work, we deactivate it, right?
Deactivate it.
And then delete it. Not much
And
involved.
that is a good idea to don't just forget about it. Go in and deactivate it, because eventually you're going to start building up, and I know this firsthand experience, you're going to start building up plugins that are installed. And one of the things is you install one, it's like, well, this doesn't work. Well, it's possible that it does work. It's just one of those other plugins. If you've got 20 plugins all running, one of those other ones may be preventing one of them from working, especially if they all are doing similar functions. So I'm trying to find a list of shortcodes, and I'm installing, well, that one doesn't work, install another one, install another one. Well, they're all trying to do the same thing at the same time, so they may be just stepping on each other's toes.
Right.
So if something doesn't work, just deactivate it, install another one, try it.
Try it. The other thing that I do is I have my own, I create a website, jimcarrillo.com, and really it's just like a play around website.
That's exactly what
So-
I'm working on. I got bobsnow.me.
Yeah, so I install just generic things like random plugins,
Yeah.
random themes, just to see what it looks like, and I can test them out on my own site without affecting a client site. And
And that's a good way to practice, or I mean, to play around with stuff. It's just kind of a, and I need to do that on my own, is just actually create, because I don't even have posts
yeah,
or pages. I just need to create a bunch of posts so I can manipulate them with different categories. and
Right,
that
right.
sort of thing. So
so did you load that plugin?
I did, and let's see if it's,
Let me
see if
pop
it
over to your
loaded
computer.
anything else. Installed plugins, and let's see what it is.
Did you get activate plugin?
Oh, I thought it did. This is- See, that's what happens and why I end up installing a lot of, I just get wrapped up in, oh, that's not working, let me find another one.
And in fact, you probably just didn't click activate
Yeah,
plugin, huh?
yeah. And so let's see, what was that called? WordPress shortcodes. So it doesn't have any setup here.
I think I'm just
It's probably
guessing,
gonna
but I
be
would
under
imagine it's
settings,
probably under, like, create a new post, and you should see a list of shortcodes. That's my thought. I don't know. And I'm thinking it's going to be on your toolbar. Oh, look it up at the top of your toolbar, right above it.
Well, that's
Short
short
click.
code, but I don't think that. Oh,
Because that's not on mine.
code tabs, tab content. Oh, short code tabs. Let's see what we got here. Oh, buttons. Column. Wow. Well, let's do a.
Do you think that was as a result of uploading that plugin?
I'm sure it was because I haven't seen this. So let's see. Let's do a button. Let's just see what the shortcode is. Okay, button icon is a heart.
There shouldn't be like a little thing that says, scroll down, because shouldn't there be a like insert? Like, there it is,
Probably.
confirm and add shortcode at the very bottom.
Oh, okay.
It's just because your screen is so small that you can't see it, but you should still be able to click it, right?
Okay, I'm gonna call it something different though. I'm just gonna call it, like I said, new button, just so I can see if it's different.
Okay.
Oh, and here's got parameters. Well, you know what? I'm gonna just link. So that would go in here, F in there, right? I think it's that. Oops. Link
Okay.
and HTTP.
So you're adding the link parameter and putting a
then I'm
URL.
I'm gonna have it go to Adobe
Oh,
because that's short.
okay.
Confirm and add short code. There we've got the short code. We're gonna call this short code tests. And we're gonna publish that. And publish looks like
let's
it's
see what-
there. I'm gonna go to my website.
View that page.
And it didn't work.
That's because it's a
it's
post, right?
menu. It's not post. Okay. Should have made it a page.
It's okay. Go back. Go back to your dashboard, and then
Yeah,
just go to that post and just do view post. By the way, the reason why I'm saying that is because I made this mistake so many times, and I just wanted the folks that were watching, if they ever run into this one.
Yeah, because I assumed, because I usually, okay, short. And it didn't. So I did something wrong in here. Oh,
Click on that.
okay, I went to the button, but there's something obviously I did wrong in the shortcut.
All
So
right.
I'm
well,
gonna-
That's close.
Edit the post again and see what I did.
All right. While you're doing that, I'm
Go
going
ahead
to
and-
talk a little bit because we got only 3 minutes left. So this weekend, Bob and I were filming. We're a film crew, I guess you'd call it, on a, what was it, a full horror flick? I don't know. It was a short film, and it was kind of horrorish, and it's called Confessional, and it should be coming out. And Teresa, our co-producer on this show, was filming it, and one of the main actors in the Confessional, Danny, I'm hoping you're watching this, and if you are, how's it going? But he was asking us how we do WordPress Wednesday. Where do we come up with the content, and how do we talk for an hour on basically nothing? Well, if you've been watching us for the last hour, now you know. It just kind of comes out. And the other thing that we're doing today is Teresa's out of town. So Bob and I are left with not only being the talent of the show, but we're also managing the switching of the cameras and the audio and the videos that you're watching. And so if you're seeing me look off camera like this, what I'm actually doing is I'm controlling a little mouse here, and that controls the different cameras. So I can switch from camera 2 to camera 3. I can go back to camera 1, and I can even go over to the website that Bob's working on while he's working it. And through those little things, we're able to broadcast our TV show. We're able to do it live, and we're able to do it with a minimal crew. And I think that was really the goal of this show. It wasn't necessarily because we were so in love with WordPress or anything like that. It was because we wanted to see if we could create a TV show with as little effort as possible. And when I say little effort, we come in at 5 o'clock and start setting up all the cameras. And by 6 o'clock, we're ready to shoot, and we're broadcasting live. And then by 7 o'clock, actually by 7:02, we're at Rosie's at the beach having a beer.
Yep.
So, and that's,
And that's
it's,
it's a fun thing.
seems to have worked. Well, we got to get going pretty soon, but did you get
I'll
anything?
get this working now, because I like the shortcode, so.
Looks like we got another topic for next week's WordPress Wednesday.
Yep.
It was good having you online. It looks like we're about ready to close up for the day. But
All right, so we'll see you next week.
And
are
I'm
we
gonna-
going to be here next week?
we should be here next week.
Okay.
If you're out of town, I think you're going to Skype in, aren't you?
That's the week after next.
All right, well, we'll
So,
be here next week.
We'll be here.
Let's see if I can get the credits going over our faces.
All right.
Look at that.
There we go.
Wow. Catch you later.